Hello and welcome to the third episode of the 0x100x course. In today's video, we are going to learn how we can create chart animation along with camera animation in After Effects. We will learn how to create a chart, stylize it, and then animate it using a 3D camera. Don't forget to check out the Patreon for extra project files. Also, it would be nice of you to leave out a like and subscribe to the channel, as it would help me out a lot. Alright, so here we are inside of Adobe After Effects, and in this video we're gonna cover one of the most important elements when it comes to designing the minimal style, and it's a chart animation. Well, chart animation is not really hard. There are only a few rules that if you apply to it, you can make any type of charts in this term of design. Alright, so I'm gonna start with making a new composition. I'm gonna call it main. The width and height is fine, and we're gonna just change the duration for right now to 5 seconds, and we're gonna just start our animation really quick. Alright, I'm just gonna start with making a new background. To do so, I'm just gonna right click in new. I'm just gonna click on solid. I'm gonna call it BG, and then we're gonna hit OK. This time I'm gonna just add a 4 color gradient effect into our background. I'm gonna just change its color to something darker. I'm just gonna choose one like this, and then I'm gonna just choose something that is darker. And then I'm gonna just make the points alright, that seems fine. And then we're gonna design the base of the chart. To do so, I'm just gonna change into the rectangle tool. We're gonna just draw a rectangle almost like so. We're gonna round it a bit to make it look better. We're gonna switch into the linear gradient. And then we're going to go into the selection tool. We're going to select the points, and then I'm going to just design it like so. I'm going to open the gradients just to see how it is. We're going to just delete 1 point, and then I'm going to just increase its opacity all the way into 100, and then I'm going to just make the bottom edge a bit darker. Alright, so here's going to be the base of the chart, and it looks super well matching with the monochromatic background that we have in here. Alright, I'm just going to change it into the base, and then we're going to just start with adding a bit more design style into it. So the first and very important thing that you can do with charts is to add these shiny lines in here. In order to do that, you need to select your layer, and then you need to add the effect called CC Light Sweep. I'm just gonna add the CC Light Sweep into the base layer, and as you can see, the main effect looks something like this. We're gonna just tune down the sweep intensity to 0, and then we're gonna have the base of the chart in here. We can increase the edge intensity to make it a bit more, rougher, and you can just increase the width also to increase the edge intensity. And then you can animate it using the duration. So if I want to animate it, for example, I'm just going to set a keyframe on duration. I'm going to just set it on 0, for example, and then we're going to go all the way into the 5 seconds, and I'm going to just set it on 1. And this is going to be exactly the effect that we have in here. Alright, so that looks good for the beginning of our layer, and then you can even stylize this effect by adding a glow effect. But sometimes when you add these layers, especially if you're familiar with the plugin called Deep Glow, as soon as you add it, you will see that it will affect everything in here. Now, in order to fix that problem, if you are using the glow, I think that should be fine for you. The glow is going to be way suitable in here. But if you are using the Deep Glow and you have everything shiny, all you need to do is that you need to duplicate your layer, and then you need to remove all of the effects on the first one by pressing Ctrl plus Shift plus E, and this will remove the effects. And then all you need to do is that you need to change the light sweep in here. We're going to just delete the glow for 1 moment. We're going to go in here, and then we're going to change the light reception from out to cutout. And then if you add the deep glow, it will only affect the light in here. And this is really up to you, but since I don't want to use any premium plugin, I'm just going to delete this one, and we're going to just stick to our original sort of effects in here. And this looks good for our purpose that we have in here. Great. Now let's design our main chart. In order to do that, I'm just going to click on the pen tool, we're going to just remove the fill. We're going to go into the stroke. I'm going to just set it on 3 pixels. We're going to just choose a bit grayish color, and then I'm going to just hold shift and I'm going to make a straight line like so. All right, that is good. We're going to call it line, and then I'm going to duplicate this line. I'm going to rotate it for 90 degree, and this is going to be the line 2, and that looks good. And then let's just do a S-curve, sort of an S-curve in here. So to do so, I'm just going to make a curve line like this in here. I'm going to just adjust this point almost to here. And then I'm going to just design another one in here, making sure that the curve looks good. We're going to hold Alt to control one of the points in here. And in here, we're going to just make sure that it looks a little bit suitable for our design. Right now we have a tangent. No, everything looks good on this side. But I don't think I don't like that, so let's just apply it like so. All right, this looks good, and we have the sort of the base of our line. I'm going to just call this one line 3, but I'm going to just make it different by changing it into purple, so we know every time the purple timeline is going to indicate that this is our S-curve. And once we have made this, we can even stylize this chart a bit further. Well, to do so, what I'm going to do is that I'm just going to turn on the fill. I'm going to turn off the stroke. Right now the color is set on light blue. It's sort of okay. I'm just going to switch into the circle tool, and I'm going to design an oval shape like so in here. And then we're going to add a few effects to create a light array for ourselves. In order to do that, the first effect I'm going to add is the Gaussian blur. And it doesn't really matter when you want to add the Gaussian blur or legacy. I'm just going to add the older version, legacy. I'm going to set it on 25%. And then once we have made that, I'm going to add the effect called directional blur. So this is a directional blur, and then I'm going to just add it. I'm going to just increase the blur length a bit to make it a bit better. And then we can just switch the, the blurriness. But once before we want to do that, let's just call this one light array. And I'm going to just set it in here. We're going to rotate it a bit, just like so. Okay. And then once it's in here, we're going to use the track matte. We're going to enable the track matte in here, and we're going to track matte it to the base layer. I'm going to reveal the base so you guys can see how it will look at the end. That looks good. We're going to just animate the light array by pressing a keyframe on the scale. We're going to turn off the chain to only control one portion. And then I'm going to just make it a bit narrower like so. So this is going to be the effect. It's just too much. Let's just set it on 85% or 84. That should be good. And then we're going to repeat this cycle. In order to do that, we're going to hold Alt. We're going to click on the stopwatch, and I want to happen continuously back and forth. So in order to do that, we need to add a loop out expression. This time we're going to add the ping pong one. So that will make it repeat back and forth like so. All right. This is something that still looks decent. We're going to add a fastbox blur in here. And we're going to just increase the blurriness a bit to make it a bit like so. And then lastly, I'm just going to add a curves effect. And once we have added the curves effect, we're going to switch into the alpha channel. And then we're going to just design it a bit like so. All right, that looks good. And then everything is settled. All we need to do is that I'm just going to change this color to something that matches the design. Right now, we can just change it into this green color that we have in here, and it's just sort of repeating itself in here. We can just make a bit of duplicates, and we can just change its color. Alrighty, and then I'm going to just create a bit of offset by changing those keyframes. Alright, this looks decent on the chart that we have in here. And you can just use a quick trick in here as well. You can just set a a gray circle in here, and you can then change its mode into classic color dodge. So this will make these lines a bit more styled. But as you can see, we need to add fastbox blur effect before everything to make it a bit better. And you can obviously, if you feel like it's not going very well, we can just use the track matte. But on here right now, everything is just looks super good. All right, then we have these matching colors happening here. All right, moving forward, what I'm going to do is that I'm just going to set a ball for this line. To do so, I'm just going to go into the circle tool again. I'm going to choose a red color, and then in here I'm just going to set one like so. I'm going to call it the red circle. And all right, that looks good. We're going to just place it at the beginning like so. All right, now let's just get on with animating the line tree that we have in here, the S-curve. To do so, I'm just gonna create a trim path for this shape layer. We're gonna just set it on 0. And then I'm just gonna move towards almost, let's say 4 seconds. And then I'm gonna just set it on 100, and we're gonna apply the standard easings into it. So now we will have a line like this. All right, that looks good. Now on the next step, what I want to do is that I want to make sure that this bow is going to follow the path of the line that we have made. So if I want to animate it manually, this will take a lot of time and a lot of effort. But one simple thing that we can do in order to fix this problem is that we can go into the content, we can go into path, and once we are in the path, we are going to press Ctrl+C to copy the path of this keyframe, and then we're going to open the position of the red circle, and we're going to paste it by pressing Ctrl+C. And then these keyframes is going to turn into a rove across time. So right now, if I play it, you will see that the ball is going to move faster than the original line, but the current path is correct. In order to fix that, we're going to just select everything, we're going to hold Alt, and then on the very last keyframe, we're going to click and drag all the way to 4 seconds, which is the initial time in here. And then I'm going to just apply the standard easings like so. Now you can see the ball is just following the path nice and clearly. All right, so this is the exact thing that we have made for the chart animation. Right now we have learned how to stylize this, how to create the animation, and now this is time to add camera. And now let's just talk about the camera a bit in here. So in order to have access to the camera, you can right click on it, and in new you can select camera. And there are two types of camera. Roughly speaking, one of them is just one node camera. And imagine this is just your cell phone. This is just exactly like your cell phone. You're just gonna grab it, you open the camera. Whenever you tilt your hand, rotate it or move in another place, you can see that the lens is just gonna capture anything that you see. And then we have the two node camera, which is gonna orbit around one point that we call it the point of interest. So basically in my opinion, controlling one node camera is just way easier compared to two node cameras, and everything has its own advantages and disadvantages. We are not going to go into that right now, but right now I'm just going to select into one node camera, and then I'm going to just set the preset on 50mm. This is just a standard lens, and then I'm going to hit OK. Once I do that, it's just going to pop up an error and say like, okay, you only need to work in the 3D space. We're going to just hit the OK, and we're going to turn these layers into 3D. All right, everything so far looks good. And I'm working on classic 3D. And make sure when you are working on this type of things, always try to work on the classic 3D, and you know the difference why. All right, so working with the camera is fairly easy. If you open the camera, you will see that you will have the position and orientation, which consists of the 3 rotations that we have in here. So if I want to zoom in, if I want to change it, I can just manipulate it and play it however I like. You tilt it, make it above, make it down, and this is really up to you. But for some of you, it might be super hard to control one camera, especially when you want to add multiple movement. One camera controlling one set of keyframes is just going to be super hard. This is why we are going to add the nulls. So basically, if you add a null object, and I'm going to just rename it to camera controller, this will allow you to control the camera better by setting it on 3D and parenting the camera into the camera controller. This will now, we will have a null that help us to control the camera better. So this will basically makes the job easier for us. So right now what I'm going to do is that I'm just going to go into the line one more time, and then I'm going to just select the path. I'm going to copy the path, and then I'm going to paste it for the camera that we have in here. And we're going to just set it on 4 seconds like it's originally it was. And then we're going to just, let's make sure that I'm pushing it correctly. And then we're going to just set it on F9. So you can see that now the camera is just following the shape that we have in here. And it's not really accurate right now. So in order to fix that, all I need to do is that I'm going to just get back to the first keyframe. I'm just going to push it a bit like so. And I'm going to just make sure that I'm focusing on the chart, which is in here, right? And now if I just select it and play the animation, you'll see that this is just going to follow the chart like so. And then we can do a lot of cool tricks with it. You know, we can go in the middle of the animation, which is in here, and then we can press Ctrl plus Shift plus D to completely cut the camera and create a new camera in here. And let's make sure that it's parented to the camera controller too. And then we can just remove this, and then we can just get back to place it sort of like this, or we can even tilt it if you like it's 3D. And then we can just set the keyframes on position and rotation. And on 4 seconds, we can just create a bit of zoom out, and we can just set it to go like so. And then we can just push it a bit down to make it centered. If you like, you can just, you know, still tilt it a bit. And then we can just apply the standard F9. So what will happen now, we will have 2 different angle that's happening in here. And you can see that working with these chart animations are just super easy. And now it's just really depends on your creativity on how you want to animate this chart. But the base of most of these 0x100x or minimal design charts is something similar like this.